Hello, everybody. Welcome to the OWinners webinar. We're so glad to have each and every one of you here. We hope you're going to enjoy tonight. We have a nice lineup, and our topic tonight is value and mindset. We have two major speakers tonight. We have Jeffrey Morlock, as well as Dr. Bill Williams. So we're going to start off with Jeffrey Morlock. He's going to be speaking about his time in On Passive and the inspiration to write the On Passive ebook. Take it away, Jeffrey Morlock.
Oh, hello, everybody. Good evening. Wow, I'll tell you, you're right down to business and right on time. I love it. I love it. That music, live music. I think you're the only ones doing that. Good on you. Good evening, everybody. I hope that you're having a wonderful on passive day. I know that I am, and I have been for a long time. So life for me is pretty good right about now, and I appreciate being on this platform. I appreciate all you folks that have come here. Lynn, thank you. Mr. Tukusi, I appreciate having a chat with you last night. That was absolutely wonderful, and I thank you all for joining us this evening. Um, right down to business. Gotta love it. You know, back in 2018, almost 4 years ago, what a journey, right? Man alive. I'll tell you what, when we first started this thing, it didn't look anything like this. And I remember when I was introduced to On Passive, my sponsor had given me a call and he was talking to me. He was somebody that I'd worked with another program previously. And he said, "Hey, I think you should check this out." And of course, I wasn't interested in it, and pretty much told him that. And so he left me alone for about a week, and then a week later, he sent me an email and followed it up with a phone call and said, "Gee, I really wish you'd take a look at this." Long story short, I did. Uh, I told him, "You know what I'll do? I'll show you." After I looked at it a little bit, I told him I'd just show him why it wouldn't work. I said, "Nobody does this. Nobody can make these promises. So I'll document why it won't work. Well, my reasons for it." So he said, "Well, oh, okay, then that works too." But he was already in, so whether he knew what was going to happen, I have no idea. But the gist of it is that I started taking lots of notes, finding out anything that I possibly could, and a lot of the information. Well, that's not even true. There wasn't a lot of information, but in the information that I could find rather, most of it came from people that were in and were talking about it over the social media platforms. And since at that particular time I had not become a founder yet, um, that was my secret hideout. Kind of was Facebook, and I started talking and learning and doing all sorts of stuff. And it got to be where I couldn't get any more information. And I thought, well, I don't know who Mr. Mufara is, but he's pretty slick because I can't get the information unless I join. So that's what prompted me to join Go Founders when it was Go Founders back in 2018. And as soon as I did, I mean, I combed through the back office and I started looking at all the downloads and everything that was back there. And I started listening to the webinars. Now, that was when Mr. Mufaro was getting on there, and we had I think there was 3, 4 of us later on that were really, really active. But we had, I think there were 3 webinars I started listening to, and the first one was Mr. Mufara, and well, they were all 3 Mr. Mufara. Go away, puppy. They were all 3 of them Mr. Mufara, but the first one I listened to really just kind of made me wonder, what is this? He doesn't talk like anybody that I've ever heard talk about a business before. And then the second one that I listened to is what really, that's the one that synced it for me. That's the one that I stopped listening to what he was saying with the words, and I was trying to get the ideas of his heart, what his heart was saying, and where he wanted to take this. And that's when I really started to get the idea that this was a man with a vision, and he wasn't trying to sell me a business. He was trying to sell me a vision. And the third webinar that the third webinar was, for me, I was already sold, but I wanted to get as much information as I could. And I was documenting everything I could. That's what turned into the ebook. Because once I got bitten, I guess is a good word, then I really started filling in all the blanks and really making and bringing in pictures to what I had documented. And once I had a good version of that, because I was not a marketer, I had some folks that were saying, well, gee, this is how you should do it. And the big thing then was Facebook. So there were a lot of founders on Facebook, and I started friending them and talking with them. And as the ebook got to be, 15, 20, 30 pages, I started giving it out just as a marketing piece for free, just giving it and saying, hey, check this out. This is on passive. Of course, I don't believe, Marty, correct me. Well, Marty, I'm not sure. Somebody here that was back then, I don't even know if in October, November of 2018, we actually had a name. I think we had Go Founders. Go Founders was coming up, but I don't even think we didn't even know what on passive was. So, I mean, when I started doing the book and getting the book out, we did. And it was a result. And I think it came out really good and strong at the beginning of 2019, maybe going into February, when we had probably 15,000 founders at the time. But Mr. Mufara had noticed it somehow. I think I'd been putting it out to various founders, and Cindy Hopkins, who we all know and love well, that was a long time ago. There's a lot of new founders in here. Cindy is we used to call her, I think, the mother of OnPassive. I don't know. I mean, Cindy was very instrumental in getting us all going, and there were some others in there, and apparently they were talking to Ash, and they caught Ash's attention, and we know that Ash likes fancy and he likes to do things right. And so he got a hold of that ebook and said, hey, let me put some pictures in there and let's pretty this thing up. And I'm like, you take it and do whatever you want to do with it. And he did, and it turned out to be a very nice piece, a good resource, a good tool or instrument for founders coming in. I think it took me probably about 6 months to do like 24 different translations to it. And I'm so grateful, because when we did the second edition of that, we had all these volunteers that came behind me and said, oh, I'll do this one, I'll do that one. So currently we have about 50 or so different translations of it. I think 25 or 30 of them are in the back office, and they're available for download for anybody that wants them. But that's really how I got started with that. That was the whole thing. The inspiration for it, Lynn, that you asked about earlier, it was Mr. Mufara. It was his heart and it was his vision. He was the first one that started talking about a complete paradigm shift. And so that's how we got the title to that book, is just the paradigm shift that is OnPassive, simply because that's exactly what it was at the time. We've just gotten a lot more paradigm shifts since then, and we're a part of probably at least a dozen global paradigm shifts that are occurring right now simultaneously with what we've got going on. So that's how it all got started. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them, but I'll let somebody else speak.
Thank you, Jeffrey. When that ebook came out, we were excited because back then there wasn't a lot, for us as far as resources. So that was significant for me. And I'm thinking, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of us today have viewed and used your ebook. So it is a major contribution to the company and to Ash Mafara and to the founder. So we want to thank you for that, because it did take quite a bit of
Well,
effort, didn't it?
yeah. It was very time consuming, but it was, I'm telling you, it really was a labor of love. And you are kind of jolting my memory a little bit. I remember I was so frustrated before I joined because there was no information. You just couldn't find the information. So once I was in and able to get a lot more, then I could piece things together. But you had to scour the webinars. You had to really look at everything that was out there, because one webinar may have had one or two pieces you're like, oh, I never heard that before, but you really had to pull it all together, and then you had to make it coherent, so that it made sense when you read it, and it was not so much maybe like a timeline, but at least it made sense when you read it. And that's why I started giving it out to everybody, because there was a void, an informational void, when it came to On Passive and Go Founders, and what the real plan was, because we were thinking, wow, 3 or 4 months, man, we're going to be launching. This thing's going fast, but there wasn't a lot of information. So you're absolutely right.
I do remember those days, Jeffrey. I do remember. So thank you so much for your efforts. We do appreciate you for that.
I want to add one thing, Jeffrey. When you did that, there was nothing else. There was nothing but what you did. Now, Scott Nelson did a couple videos, not a lot, looking back, but there wasn't a lot of info on the company. And then obviously in 2019, we were trying to explain the company that was in the process of changing into another company. So it didn't make it easier, it just made it more challenging, because we were explaining something that was in the process of morphing into what we see today, right? I mean, that's the funny part of it. We were actually explaining something that we didn't have 100% our 2020 vision on at the time. So, but what you did helped everyone. Helped everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, you are absolutely, man. You are spot on. I remember, and again, this is good, because these are things that are making me remember things that were happening at the time. We were literally making this up as we went along. And I say we, I mean, it wasn't me. I was just trying to collect the data. But I remember Mr. Nelson, and conferring with him, and talking with him, and Mr. Mufara, explaining one day on the phone. He said, I had a guy in the Philippines that I tried to get to do webinars, and he panned out. And there was a guy in India that used to work for government, and I tried to get him to do webinars, but they didn't understand it. And we got to have somebody on the inside that can write webinars. And he said, would you write some webinars for Mr. Nelson? I'm like, you bet I will. And that was my introduction to Mr. Mufara. And so we had some good conversations about a lot of things, starting with writing those webinars, and writing and doing PowerPoints. And later on, when he started to want to do some videos, he said, hey, can you make a few scripts for a little, 5 or 7 minute videos? And I was just in hog heaven, loving life, because I thought, wow, I've really found my spot, and I quit. I was in some other programs, some big, well-known programs. If I were to say them here, you guys would know what they are. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know that, or I know I've been in it, or whatever. But once I knew that I was in On Passive, I was in, and I stopped everything else, and I haven't turned back. I've been approached quite a few times, to get into other programs, as other folks like you have. Don't want any part of it. Tell them this is where I'm at. I'm done with everything else, and life is good. As we moved forward, and I remember, when events happen in our lives, if they're significant, you remember exactly where you were when that happened. And I remember sitting right over in my living room on the end of the couch underneath that particular light. It was one afternoon. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening. And I was on the phone with Mr. Mufara. And I just said, tell me what is this company? Where is it going? What is the vision or the mission If you, be careful what you ask for is all I can say, because Mr. Mafara, he doesn't give short answers, right? But there's tons of context in everything that he says, because he wants you to give a full understanding. And you're going, wow, and I was feverishly taking notes. So I had about 2 full pages of notes by the time he was done. And I said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to squeeze it into one statement. I'm going to send it back to you, and you tell me if that'll work for a vision statement, or we can mold this thing. That's where our vision statement came from 3.5 years ago. And I didn't really recall that until I got called out on it on YouTube the other day, when somebody said, oh, you're changing the vision statement. I'm like, no, that was the original vision statement. It's never been changed. Once I condensed it down and sent it back, he says, oh, that's perfect. Boom. And he went with it. So right halfway through 2019 is when that came out with the logo, explaining what the logo was and the colors and the circle and all that. So I'll tell you, it's been a journey. It's been beautiful. It's been a wonderful. I mean, we've been through it, though. We've had some heartache. We've had some setbacks, some things happen we wish didn't happen. We've gone in, Marty, like you said, we've gone in 100 different directions. We've gotten so big. So I know I'm on a soapbox. Let me digress, get off.
That's very, very interesting. And Marty and I can relate to that, because we've been in it probably around the same amount of time as you. So we've been through those ups and downs, the joys and the disappointments, but all in all, a beautiful journey. Right, Marty? It's been a great, great journey.
I wouldn't give it up for anything. There was days that were pretty rough, but all in all, where would we be during this? Where would we be with this pandemic if we didn't have Unpassive, right? And Zoom, and we got to meet a lot of people, right? You couldn't travel a lot, so it was perfect, absolutely perfect. And looking back at it, you appreciate it more by the journey you took. And I knew during this time we're in something really big. And right up to last Monday, I find out I don't know anything, but it's really big. But to me, you have that feeling that you're involved in something, even if you're not 100% sure what it is, that is once in a lifetime deal, once in a lifetime for many lifetimes, really. And we're all involved, and what we think we know, what we don't know, it doesn't matter. But I wouldn't give up the journey for nothing. No matter, I think if you can learn to accept what you can change and let the other things go, you would enjoy the journey much better. I let go of the when is it going to launch back in 2020. Never mentioned it again. I've talked to Ash hundreds of times. I have never asked him that question. Not once. Because of respect. Because if you know, even what we don't know, it's almost ignorant to ask him, when is this going to launch? It's massive. It's launching. Everybody wants this big ceremony and sparks going off and fireworks. That probably will happen. But in the meantime, we're launching. And when you're talking about all these things that he's involved with, talking about 8 billion people will want what we have, that's every man, woman, and person on this planet. And we're worried about, hey, am I going to get my 3? It just sounds ridiculous. So I don't bring that up. I don't even say it. I say you go forward, you share with what you can. People that didn't get it's too bad. But I'll tell you this, everyone you've ever talked to about Unpassive that either laughed at you or said something about you, all of them will be an Unpassive one day. Every one of them. Because if you sign in online, you're going to be signing in on Unpassive. That day's coming. We can't avoid it. They can do whatever they want to do, but the day will come when you sign in online, you're signing in on Passive. Definitely going to happen. You can see the writing on the wall. And I don't care what language you speak, clear your head and read what's written. What's written is pretty powerful for all of us. Everyone's coming. They didn't want to be a founder. That's okay with me. Ash will have everything that anybody could ever want in their fingertips on one dashboard. I mean, come on, what else do we want at the best value on the planet? So the reason I did question Jeffrey after he's done, because that's what I need. It triggers you to think of something else. Just to talk and talk, you're thinking, okay, there's more to this than what I'm saying. And then somebody said something, you go, holy cow, I got something else. And that's how nice conversations get going, because it jogs your memory. Some of the stuff you're trying to forget, okay? But I mean, you need to put it together to make the story where everybody can understand where you've been and where we are now. But yeah, I would never give up the journey for nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's pretty much all I have right now.
That was powerful.
Well,
stuff, Marty.
Marty, I like the idea, what you were talking about a little bit ago, when you had mentioned when we had first gotten this thing going and there really wasn't any information. Because for those that were here the early months and through 2019, I mean, this company was going gangbusters. I mean, they changed this plan so many times and redirected and changed the directory and got bigger. And they thought, oh my gosh, now we're up to 25,000 founders. Where I mean, in 2018, Ash made no bones about it. We expected what, maybe tops 3,000 to 5,000. We'd be launching after 90 days or whatever. Man, blew that out of the water. Jumped into the first quarter, the end of first quarter 2019, and we're at 32,000. Things are changing. He's got more products on the line instead of just being a marketing and with a few products. Now he's turned this thing into a product suite, and then that product suite got smart. I mean, the whole year of 2019 was just so up in the air and so much excitement, just so many things happening. You really had to get involved a little bit just to put your life on fire. But you're absolutely right.
No doubt about it. We got to the point in Unpassive Nation at the time, we were in a bubble, but we were promoting what we believed was coming. Was there hype involved? Yes, because you can always detract from it. No, you can always pull it back. But I kept hearing more and more, and I said, keep going. Now, most of the time, out of the thousands of videos that Mike Ellis did, hundreds of them you guys never saw, because I had to put them out with a fire extinguisher. No, we can't say that. We can't. But we pushed the limit on purpose, because I remember saying to Ash, July 23rd, 2020, we hit 100,000 people. I said, what are you going to do when you hit 200,000? He goes, we don't really have any plans for that. Look where we are now. That's my point. The evolution of Unpassive was happening as we were running, right? So if you think it, it will be it. And here's what happens. Everyone here that ever marketed in your life, you've heard of lead magnets, a lead magnet. Unpassive turned into a brain magnet. He has now joined people out of the industry that have the brains and the know-how. When that happens, you can't shut this pig down. It's too late. Now he's telling people that maybe in their 40s and 50s that were in the business for 20 years, hey, you know those things you've always thought of? Yeah, I'll pay you to use your brain. Lights out, everybody. Drop the mic. We're in for an unbelievable journey. So now you have 50, 60, 70, 80 Ash Mafaras in one room. That's dangerous stuff. But it's for the good of man. Where can we go from here? Are you kidding me? So use your imagination, because your imagination is where they dwell all day long. Your imagination is where they live. That's how we get better and get stronger and get more items that are coming. And it's coming. You can't be around that much smart and not something good come out of it. You cannot be. And he rose the Kraken, okay? Here they come. And you take all these guys with all these ideas. Ash said that story about a guy he met in a meeting. Ash is analyzing people every time he talks. He's watching your movement. He's watching how you react. Trust me. One time I looked down at my phone and goes, well, Marty, you pay attention, I'll keep going. I mean, my God, there's 25 people on the screen. He noticed my big head looking down at my phone, right? So, but no, I mean, that's what he does. And by doing that, I think it's so cool, because he said, We've cracked into people that do this for a living. How about the 1,500,000 founders? You don't think there's ideas out of all these people that are mind-blowing, but never had an opportunity? This is that platform. Anything that can be, will be. That's unbelievable. Stop wrapping money around it. The ingredients of passive is horse choking money. It's a byproduct. The money's coming. You can't stop it. But if you look at the ingredients of value and what we have, it's lights out for every one of us. Lights out. So enjoy the journey because the other's coming anyway. It's a byproduct of the ingredients of this masterpiece that Ash put together. And he's enjoying it too. You can see him. He's jumping around the chair. I'm surprised he doesn't break it.
Thank you very much.
Because he's got in his mind, he wants to say more. But the sad thing is, some people he can't be truthful with. We know we have people that some people that aren't not trustworthy. But it's getting more and more, and we're going to learn more. We'll be more. That's why I tell everybody here, and I'm going to say this. Too many people look at other people and say, I don't do what Jeffrey does. I don't do what Lynn does. God forbid, I don't want to do what Marty does, right? Or what Dr. Bill. But this company is big enough for everyone in OnPassive to reach their 100% potential. I don't give a crap who you are. Well, I only know how to do that. Be the best at it. Because if you can't reach your potential on OnPassive, you never, ever will. And if you don't, you didn't try. I've never seen a platform where everybody here can be a superstar in their own right. And there's nothing wrong with that. We live one time. We have no guarantees. Be the best you can be. Do what you want to do. You find a diamond in the rough, grab their behind and throw them ahead of you. If we all did that, oh my God. Well, look what's happening. It's happening every day. Every day I meet a new person. And I go, where the heck have they been? And you know what I hear? They've been in since 2019. I never saw them in my life. Because there might be some crap in between them and the other diamonds. You got to dig. If you see them, drag them out of there. They have a voice. All of us have a voice. And if you all speak and do it, look at, nobody knew who OTech Pros were 5 months ago. They were hiding in some meeting on Sunday. I saw them hiding in a little corner. I said, get your ass out of there and go do something. Why? Because they have a place to fill, a void. Anyway, I just woke up. Alexa. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you, Marty. I just wanted to let Dr. Bell chime in if he wanted to. Go ahead, Dr. Bell.
Is it time?
Yes. We're going to move on now to Dr. Bill. He's going to do a presentation about the Wizard of Oz and OnPassive.
Yeah, there is a Kansas somewhere. We've got to find it. We got to get back. You know, we do stand on the shoulders of giants. In 2018, there were a lot of giants, Jeffrey and Lynn, Tony, Bobby, Ken, Red. Then along came Marty, Dan, and Mike. And, you know, it's been a fun time watching all the leaders come along. And when I got here in 2020, believe it or not, there were already 50,000 people in the group. But there's been a lot more since then, of course. So sometimes people get lost. They're new. They just joined. They don't know where to start. And the ebook was a wonderful way to catch up. So the marvelous to hear the history of the ebook tonight. A lot of you guys who never heard anything about it learned a lot about Jeffrey and how he was an initial person that really got this thing rolling, one of the key figures of OnPassive. So hats off to you, Jeffrey, on that. How important is it for you guys to have a signpost when you're lost? How important is it to have a map, an ebook? How about a friend just to go along with you and tell you which way to go? Well, the value of following somebody's suggestion, I'm going to call this one tonight, the value of following the yellow brick road. Remember why we got on this journey. You know, Dorothy, of course, was thrown by a tornado into the land of Oz. And our tornado of our times has been the pandemic. It's been the corruption in the system. It's been the inflation lately that's starting to cause people to take a second look at On Passive to find another source of income. So we left for Kansas, our Kansas, 4 years ago, and we've been transported to the land of On Passive, if you want to make the analogy with the land of Oz. Dorothy went to Oz, the land where she didn't know anybody, and she found friends. She found the Munchkins. She found people who would help her find her way. And we came to On Passive. We didn't know anybody, but we found other founders. Fellow founders helped us along the way when we first got here. And so it's been important that we actually connect to people. At first we were lost, but just like the Munchkins, somebody took us by the hand and said, that's the way to go. Follow the yellow brick road. They told Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz to follow the yellow brick road to get to the Emerald City, where the Wizard of Oz would come out and help them, tell them how to get home. They, the Munchkins, thought the wizard knew everything. So they headed off down the yellow brick road. They told us, the founders, to follow the unicorn to the top to get home. But then we didn't know what the top was. And we were sitting there going, what is the top? When our ears will pop. How many of you guessed that it was going to be the top of the Burj Khalifa? Certainly not I. I thought we were going to be talking about going up in a rocket ship or something, doing something on the space station. So we followed that unicorn down the yellow brick road. Along the way, for the group in Oz, for Dorothy, they ran into the good witch, Glinda. Remember Glinda, the pretty witch? The witch of the north? She gave Dorothy the pair of ruby slippers. And that ruby slippers played an important part during the whole show of the other wicked witch trying to get back those slippers that Glinda had given to Dorothy. And so those ruby slippers were not able to be taken away from Dorothy. They could only be given away. So there was something about the gift. Now, as we talk more about the trip down the yellow brick road, we know that Dorothy met the scarecrow. She met the guy with no brain. She also met the Tin Man, the rusty Tin Man with no heart. And eventually she met the Cowardly Lion. And of course, he was looking for courage. And each one of them knew that if they could go with Dorothy down to the Emerald City, and the wizard would give them heart, a mind, and courage, so they would be fulfilled and whole. And Dorothy, of course, wanted to go home to Kansas. So I want to ask you a question right now is, what is home to you? What are you going to do when On Passive takes you home? Where will you want to be when you finally get back to Kansas? To me, being home is being able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, to live my life of whatever my purpose is. Now, a secret to you is that I've been living my life's purpose since I was 10 years old. I've never not lived my life's purpose. But I know that some people don't live their life like they want to. You know, I got a great start in Boy Scouts, and I felt like that was my purpose, to be the best Boy Scout, Explorer Scout that I could be, and to help people when I needed to help them, and to excel myself when I needed to excel. And so that's the purpose that I've always strove for, is to be the best I can be and help the most people I can help in the time I have. But everybody else has their own initial reason for doing what they do, right? The purpose. And so I call that going home. So as we walk down the yellow brick road, we want to search for what's the meaning of why we're in on passive and what we're doing about it. The Wicked Witch of the West was always threatening Dorothy and her dog Toto because she ruled over Oz and wanted the ruby slippers so that she could dominate the rest of the land, the territory, the Munchkins. If the lion had a heart, had courage, if the Tin Man had a heart, and if the wizard could fulfill the dreams of the Scarecrow to give him a mind so he could think, then he would be fulfilled. So we're invited to go down that yellow brick road with on passive to the top, even though we really haven't seen the top. We don't know what all the offerings are. We don't know all the products. But they're like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion, like Dorothy. Initially, they lacked the courage to go where they wanted to go. They couldn't do it alone. They wanted the knowledge to share with others. We want to share with others what we know. And we want the heart to preserve and persevere for the years it takes for this to come to fruition. We don't sometimes have the patience, and so we want the patience. So that's the heart that we want. And I think if all the founders could get the courage and get the knowledge and get the perseverance, then we would all get to that point at the Emerald City, at the top of the Burj Khalifa, where, voila, the curtain's thrown back. You know, when the wizard had the answers and everybody showed up at the Emerald City, the wizard would provide them a way to get back home, to reach their dreams. And the Wizard of Oz at the end of the yellow brick road in the Emerald City said, I'm gonna give you these things, but it may not be really what you want. The yellow brick road for founders is kind of like that. Right now, our yellow brick road is the Founders Roundtable, primarily when Ash shows up. It's the On Passive 360s. It's the Friday Night Lives. It's the tech guys speaking. It's OWinners like tonight. It's the Julie and Milo show, the Singapore Passion Live webinar. So we have a lot of yellow brick roads that we follow, that we walk down, so that we can actually be going toward the Emerald City of our On Passive. So the closer we get, we gain the brain, the heart, the courage we seek. The closer to home we go, the higher we go. Remember in the Emerald City, in the land of Oz, standing before the great wizard, Toto pulls open the curtain and exposes the wizard, and he reveals himself as just a man behind the curtain. Well, in Boston, we were up there, 30-something of us, and they pull the curtain back, and what do we see? We saw the Burj Khalifa and all the grandeur of Dubai. So that was like pulling the curtain back to see, oh, this is not just a normal company. We're not doing the grand blast off from the lawn of the office in the front yard of Orlando. No, we're doing it from the tallest building in the world. So this was the city of our dreams. But what about the ruby slippers? You know, Dorothy missed the hot air balloon that took the wizard back to Kansas. She missed it. And so Glinda the Good Witch leaned over to her and said, as she thought she was missing her ride back to Kansas, she leaned over and said, Dorothy, you know, if you knew that these slippers are the magic that will take you back home, all you have to do is click them together and say the magic words. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Just click your heels together 3 times and you're back in Kansas. She said, you know, there's always this fact. You always had the ability to do that if you just believed in yourself. I guess the finishing question I have is, do you have your own pair of ruby slippers? Do we have our own pair of ruby slippers in On Passive? Can we get back home? And I think we do. Catmo is our ruby slippers. All we have to do is launch. And as we heard already, of course, we're already launched. We are launching right now. And so our ruby slippers are tapping right now. And we're getting ready to be home. Catmo will take us home to our purpose, home to where our heart is, home where our mind is, our dreams, and the place where we can have the courage to be ourselves, to be a blessing to others as we have been blessed. So the wizard appeared and gave us Catmo. Ash is definitely our wizard. What are we going to do with it? That's the question. And how valuable is it that we have followed that yellow brick road, that somebody was kind enough to invite us to join and walk down that path? Jeffrey, I'm glad I got to be a founder. Lynn, I'm glad that I'm walking down the road with you. Marty, I'm glad that you have a brain. I'm glad that, Tony, you have a heart. I'm glad that, Marcine, you have courage. We all have something that is meaningful as we walk down the road, and everybody can be a superstar in their own way, as Marty indicated. So it's been fun to travel the yellow brick road. And if you're like me, you're always looking to see who you can have fun with. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks for inviting me and having a good time tonight.
Dr. Bill, that was incredible. I think there are some lessons to be learned through the Wizard of Oz, and I see parallels to Unpassive, and that, saying there's no place like home. It's really saying you just have to believe. And it's same with us, right? We come to Unpassive with a strong belief that just by being part of this company, we're ensured to have success. Would you agree with me on that part?
Guaranteed success if you just take your step and believe in yourself.
Pretty simple stuff. But as Ash Mafara says, not everyone is destined to be a founder. Is that true as well?
That's true. The Wicked Witch didn't make it home. You got to be a good person.
That is true. Thank you for sharing. That was a beautiful story. A lot to be learned from it. Thank you, Dr. Bill.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. So at this time, we will go to an OWinner. Let me give you a little background to OWinner. As you see, this is the OWinners webinar, but how did it start? Did it just start 3 weeks ago? Because 3 weeks ago was our first webinar. No, it started a couple of years ago, but it was a very small group, a very close-knit group, as Bob and Oliver will attest, very special. And I have been in it for a while, not from the very inception, but for quite a while. And I found value in this group, the OWinners. There's lots of professionals in this group. There's a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge in this group. And so tonight, we would like to acknowledge a couple of OWinners who have been with us for quite some time. And I'd like to start with Abdua Kiha. Would you unmute yourself and speak, Abdua?
Thank you, Lynn. Good
Good to
evening, good
see you
afternoon, good morning to everyone. First of all, I'd like to say we are very, very blessed to be where we at. We're in a wonderful place where all your dreams come true, all your imaginations come together. We're talking about value in a mindset. What is value? Value have different meaning to everybody. Everybody have different perspective of what a value means. A value can be ideal, a purpose. Value can be understanding. Value can be something very special, something that you desire, something that you wish for, something that you have a determination for. That's value. But what is your value in life? Everybody has a different point and purpose for the value in life. You know, my value in life is to be able to help the homeless mother with children, to help the disabled, to help the senior citizen with. Well, so many of them been put in the old folk homes, as I call them, nursing home, and just left there to die. What is your value? What is your purpose? What do you desire? I heard Dr. Bill talk about the yellow brick road and Alice in Wonderland, all them different things they talk about fantasies. But really, if you think about On Passage, when On Passage started, I mean, when I got in On Passage, it was about 25,000 people in On Passage when I got in On Passage. It's been a beautiful and lovely journey. I hear all of us saying all the time, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. We're in a beautiful place. It come to mind, I was sitting here listening to Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey. We've been here a long time together. Glad to see you. That was a man that happened to go out in the yard and sitting on this tree trunk. This thought just came to me. I ain't read it nowhere. And he was just sitting there on the bench, just thinking about his family, his life. And all of a sudden, while he was sitting there, a golden bowl landed in his lap. He looked at the bowl, he didn't know what to do, he didn't know what was going on. And something inside him say, rub the bowl 3 times. Rub it 3 times. There go that number 3 again. Rub the bowl 3 times. And he said, And he rubbed the bowl 3 times, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You know, our golden bowl is On Passage. That's our golden bowl. On Passage has come here to give us wishes of our life, wishes of our dream, you know, our mindset. I heard the word mindset is in regard to where a person think, feel. You know, it's a process. There's a saying say, if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. Now, the attitude of our CEO, Mr. Ash Mafara, is do or die. We are in it to win it. Also, he said, if you can't make it in No Passage, you can't make it nowhere. And I believe that wholly. I am here to stay. I am grateful and thankful to Mr. Ash Mafara and his family. I'm thankful to his wife, giving him the room to move and do all the things to do. Man, he works so tirelessly, you know, sleepless night. Sometimes I just want to come on and say, Mr. Ash, go to bed, get you some rest, get you some sleep. How he has dedicated his life to change our life for us. Isn't that so wonderful? I don't know about you, but I am ready and I'm happy and I'm grateful for this opportunity that Mr. Ash Mafara has given me. Thank you for this opportunity to listen to what I have to say in my heart. Thank you, Lynn, very much. Thank you, Uncle Bob, Uncle Oliver. Thank you, Marty, Dr. Bill. Again, thank you, Jeffrey. We've been on a long ride together. I remember when we first had our first webinar together. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. That was just beautiful. So when did you come in to Unpassive?
I came in March 2019.
Ooh, that's when I came in as well. So when we came in, what did we have? We didn't have a lot of concrete things, right, Abdullah? But we did have one thing. What did we have, Abdullah? We had belief.
We had belief and we had hope and we had inspiration. And we had a strong desire and determination to succeed. And Mr. Ash Mafara has given us opportunity. When he say, if you can't make it in On Passage, you can't make it nowhere. I'm in agreement with that, totally and wholeheartedly. Thank you again.
I love it. Thank you again. Thank you for speaking today. All right, now we're going to go on to a woman who, she lives in the United States, but she's originally from Kenya. This woman has a heart. She has a heart for humanity. She has a track record of having helped many, many people over the years. And she is very articulate and she's inspiring. And she is an OWinner. And I'd like to bring her down right now to speak with us. Gladys Nyaboro.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you, OWinners, and thank you, the leaders in the house, and thank everybody who is listening now or who will be listening. My journey in OnPassive has been a beautiful journey. I joined in OnPassive July 27, 2018, and since I joined, I've never looked back. The only condition that I had when I was introduced to OnPassive is to at least speak to somebody, because I had joined the two businesses. One never started, never launched at all. Another one never delivered how it promised to. And the common thing with those businesses, I never knew who the owners were because I never spoke to them. I just saw the photos on Facebook. So when I was introduced to OnPassive, I said, I need to speak to the owner. The person who invited me was kind enough to share the phone number of Ash Mafara. I called him, and the first thing after the greeting, he inquired, asking me where I live, my name, my culture, the kind of food that we eat, if I love it in the United States. He asked me about Kenya and about my family. And he never pitched the business to me. And in the end, as we were almost saying bye, I told him, by the way, I called you because of I was introduced to a business that you have, and I want to know more about it. That's when he told me, asked me what I do professionally. I told him, and I told him we were in vacation in Orlando, Florida. We are taking the kids there with the entire family, extended family. And he asked me how many days we are there. I told him we'll be leaving in about 2 days. We came 2 days ago and we'll be leaving in 2 days. And they said, what you need is a business that is automated, that you can have time to enjoy your family on vacation while you make money. And I told him, but that's not life, because in life, we are used to that you work to earn money. But then he told me it's possible, but nobody has thought to do it, but it's possible. And for me, when he said that, that's it. I was sold out. Yes, I had a job already. I was working as a registered nurse, but being able to sustain my family, we can put food on the table, but I'm compassionate about helping people and doing charity. And the money was not enough to be able to help others. So when I heard this, that it's possible, I just had to pray for patience, changed my attitude, started working on it. And I promised within my heart. Nobody asked me to promise loyalty, but I pledged loyalty within my heart that I will trust what Ash has said that he will deliver. And my mindset stuck that way up to now. It has never changed, because Ash, as we have seen him, is a man who keeps his words. What he said in 2018 is what he's saying in 2022. And I remember when I wrote him a text, when he replied back, he did not know me personally, other than business-wise. As we spoke, he finished with, see you at the top. That was 2018. Didn't we just go to the top? And we are still going to the very top. I'm happy because of OBless especially and Academy. These are two things, two platforms that I really look forward to touch lives around the world. And I thank God. Actually, I thank his wife, because yes, we say, thank you, Ash. We have children around the same age. And I know as a couple, when one person is fully immersed the way he's working hard, working with the tech team to produce the products and to brand us, and raising a young family, it's difficult. So thank you to Ash's family for giving him the time. How is he branding us? Look at link 58. Most of the companies, when you are given a link for the company as a founder, you click, you see the name of the company, and then you see a number. You are referred as a number, or you see your name at the end. But when you click our link, it goes straight to onpassive.com. As he said, if we stick with him, we will go all the way with him to the top. Me, I'm in 100%. And I thank Jeffrey and all those who helped us to start getting these webinars, the ebook, to start learning about OnPassive. But I remember that first video that Ash did that was, I think, 13 minutes. I listened to that video over and over and over again. And that's how I stuck with the vision of Unpassive. And I believe that through Missionaries for Africa, we are going to do a lot through Unpassive. And for that, I say, God bless Ash. God bless him for this vision. As Africans, we will come together as one Africa to touch lives, to do things in a different way, as Ash has said, that we will change the world. We might not change everything, but surely we will do things in a good way. Thank you so much. And God bless Ash. God bless you all.
That was just beautiful. You know what I think is special, Gladys, is that you got to speak with him when the company was just starting. You know, I think that's a really special experience for you, and a phone call you'll probably never, ever forget. What was your impression of Ash Mafara when you first spoke with him on the phone? What was your initial reaction when you heard his voice?
When I heard his voice, my initial reaction was of kind of a surprise and a shock. We know CEOs, and the way the dream was big, and this business that I've never had before. And he came in as a humble person, listening to me to speak. And that shows clearly who he is, because he's out to bring the best out of people, to empower us, and to send us out to go carry the vision. His attitude was very calm on the phone, confident, of course, and patient, listening. He's a very good listener, and his vision was something I could not even imagine. And very culturally competent, because he inquired about the culture. He told me a little bit about culture, living in New York, New Jersey, and Orlando, the differences, California. So very compassionate, loving person, a good listener.
Oh, how special. I really think he's an amazing man. And as you said, culturally aware and culturally sensitive. And that's good. It's really a good factor, a good feature. Thank you very much for sharing. We appreciate your time and your presence here today. And you're always very supportive. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to take it to Mr. Tony Monk. I'm hoping he's available to unmute himself and say a few words. He always inspires and excites us. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Yeah, wow. There's just been so many great speakers tonight. It's amazing. And so many lovely faces. Look at all these beautiful faces on the screen. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just wanted to start with one of the leading pioneers, which is Jeffrey Morlock. Jeffrey, I followed you right from the beginning. I started in October 5th, 2018. We had almost 3,000 founders at the time. And you were one of the leading pioneers. You, Cindy, Scott, even Red at that time. And I wasn't a leader at that time. I was a little shy, but I was listening to you. I was listening to you guys, and I was trying to follow your lead. So look at me today. I hope you're proud of me today. Thanks so much for paving the road for me, Jeffrey. I really appreciate it. And Dr. Bill Williams, the Wizard of Oz, came to our screen about 3 years ago here in Victoria, BC, and I saw it. I saw it on the big screen. I was the youngest person there. Well, there are a lot of old people there. It's 80 years ago. It was made 80 years ago, 1942. It was an amazing show. Yeah, I like Jeffrey and all of us here, I didn't see the value right off the bat. And I have to be honest with you. I listened to Ash's 2 videos in July of 2018, and I thought, oh God, here we go again. Because I've been involved with so many things, and I thought, and I've been a member of so many scams. I'm sure you all understand what that means. And I thought, Jesus. So I had time to think about it, and my sponsor kept bothering me about it. Thank God he did. And in October, I got in and I listened to Ash again for the second time, the 2 videos. And I thought, you know what, this man's actually speaking from the heart. There's something here. There's something here. I do feel some value. I didn't at the beginning, but I do now. I don't know what changed. Maybe my mindset changed, because the mindset at that time was, oh God, here we go again with another scam, right? So I gave it an opportunity, gave it a chance, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it another opportunity, and I did. So I had an open mind. I went in with an open mind the second time around. So that's where I found the value. And since then, I've never looked back. It's just amazing. Like, the value of the products we have is second to none. I mean, you know, we've got almost 5 billion people that use the products that we have that are proprietary, except they're state of the art with artificial intelligence, embedded with artificial intelligence. My favorite product is Traffic, only because I've been doing marketing for the longest time, right? And when Ash came on not too long ago, and he was talking about the return on investment in the traffic that's going to be coming in, that it's 20 to 25%, that just blew me away. And I saw the value in that right away. I thought, oh my God, where's he getting what traffic is he talking about? You know, and because back in the old days when I was doing marketing, if you got to a 2% ROI, you were doing very well, really, really, really well. He's talking about 20 to 25%. That's over the top value. Okay, and all the products we have here in OnPassive is over the top value. Okay, and what that means is the products, the prices that people are going to pay, the customers that are going to pay for these products is very low compared to what they're going to have as a product, right? The product is going to be extremely valuable. So I've been excited since then, you know, since October 5th, and I've never looked back. I'm glad I met a lot of wonderful people along the way. I'm glad that we actually decided to expand, Jeffrey, because I think you remember Ash wanted to stop at a certain point back then, right? And he says, okay, well, we could either stop here or we can continue. I still have some ideas, right? And we allowed him to do that, to just expand it. And look at us now. I mean, it's amazing. I'm still pinching myself every day to make sure that I'm not sleeping, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, I'll give it back to you, Lynn. I don't have much to say. I'm just inspired by what everybody else has been saying, and I'm very excited to be here. And thank you so much for having me on.
It's our pleasure to have you on as panelist and as a speaker. You know, Tony, you've been here since the very beginning. And what is it that keeps you so strong and unwavering in your belief? Can you tell us in a few words?
I've always been a positive person since I was a kid. And I try to look for the positives. I know there's negatives in the world, but I try to look for the positives in every negative. And also another thing that's inspired me is the wonderful people that we have here. You know, we went through a pandemic, Lynn, not too long ago, right? And there were a lot of unfortunate people that committed suicide or went into a deep depression or what have you. But we came on these webinars as brothers and sisters, and we all helped each other get through the pandemic, right? And with heart, we all care about each other. So when somebody's sick, for example, we all acknowledge that that person is sick. You know what I'm saying? So what really inspires me is the fact that we have such huge heart here, and Ash obviously is the beacon of that heart. He instilled that into us. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us already had heart before we met Ash, but Ash is leading us in that direction. And I really appreciate the fact that he's focused more on not profits before humans, but humans before profits, right? It's been profits before humans for a long, before people for a long time, right? And he's turned that around. And I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And it inspires me. And inspiration has a lot of value in it. If something inspires you, it's valuable to you, right? And that to me is valuable, very valuable. Just the fact that we have absolute amazing people here in OnPassive, and we have the best CEO that I've ever met in my entire life. You know, to acknowledge everyone, especially people that we have never heard of before, and Ash brings out their name. That to me shows tremendous leadership and tremendous heart. Yeah. Thank you.
Tony, we are totally blessed to be part of this great company and to have such a special leader. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Thanks again for being here. Appreciate you so much. All right, now we're going to go to the two leaders of this group who I credit with keeping this group going, OWinners group going all these years, and keeping the group cohesive and motivated and inspired. And there are two individuals that are going to speak next. We're going to start with Oliver Fonte. And Oliver Fonte is known for his statement. And what is that statement, Tony? What does Oliver always says? We are
fine.
We are fine. We are fine.
Exactly.
We are fine.
That's right, Uncle Bob. Everybody can hear that. You know, when he's not around, I can hear him saying, we are fine. We are fine. And it is so, so comforting to me, right, Coney? It's a great statement that we will never forget about Oliver. So now we would like Oliver to come on down.
Oliver's amazing.
And yes, he is. He's going to take the floor.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I want to say thank you. It's a pleasure with great joy that today OWinners has been around for I think it's almost 2 years or 2 years today and above, if I can put my finger on it. And I want to thank all the OWinners that are in the house. You people are amazing. And it has been a great journey. And yes, we are fine. Today we are in July. The 60 days, the 9 products will be out. Why should we not be fine? In 90 days, 12 products will be finito, above market value. Why should we not be fine? It's time for fun, fun. And it's time for us to celebrate. Every day should be a day for us to celebrate and to pray and to thank God for Mr. Ash Mafara and the family and the tech guys in Hyderabad, including the ones in Singapore and in Dubai. Those are the value. Those are the value. Why shouldn't we be fine? Those are the value that OnPassive. With disruptive products, superior, above market value, innovative features, why shouldn't we be fine? Those are the values that OnPassive is bringing on the table. I also want to thank Jeffrey Malog, Madi Degamo, my brother Tony Monk, Dr. Bill, Abdul, for all those who just want to say thank you guys for being here with us. This is our house. OWinners, 9 p.m. every Wednesday. This is our house. Everybody is welcome to come in here every Wednesday to come and get the inspirational word. The old Tech Pro, 4 of us might be here. The worst case scenario, the 2 Tech Pro guys will be here. Bob and myself will be here. I just want to thank everybody. If you listen to what Mr. Ash said on Monday, he talked about trust. And that trust is far more important than performance. That is true. That is true. Trust. That is that trust that we trusted him since for those who came in 2018. But the turbo engine started 2019. Full blast. 2019. I don't want to say those who came in 2018, they didn't do anything. They did. They did what they did. But 2019, from February 2019 to 2020, July 2020, that was when the fire was burning. That was when the fire was burning. The turbo engine was on, firing. More founders were coming in. Thanks to Dan Street, Mike Ellis, Madi Degamo, and the rest. With their marketing skills, they fire up the whole place. And today we are 1.45 million founders. That is the value, the hope, that trust, and the loyalty to Mr. Ash Mafara. The belief that we got today, we are smiling, and it's going to be fun. Because now we can see the product, we've smelled the products, we've touched the product, beta testing. That is the value. That is the value that we are talking about. Then when we want to talk about the mindset, I came to OnPassive because of that. I want to make an income, additional income. But my mindset today has changed totally. Now it's about humanitarian. I don't even think about myself because already it's a done deal. It's a done deal for myself. It's a done deal. Fill my tank. The CEO said we should fill our tank. My tank will be okay. But how am I going to do with the guys in downtown Baltimore, the homeless people in downtown Baltimore? How am I going to do with water project in my village back home in Cameroon, health center, electricity? My mindset has changed, and I know all of us in here and the 1.45793 founders, our mindset has changed. Our mindset has changed. It's a good thing. When you hear when the CEO talks, we can name them here, from the products, from our labs, our guys in Hyderabad, AI department / machine learning department to train them. He gives them cars, cell phones, bike, you call them bike. Value adding value, taking care of our employees, make them to feel good, adding value to the product, value to the company, hiring staff every day, good ones every day, treat them like, you know, they are his own personal brother and sisters, adding value. Because when you want to add value to your company, your employees, when you treat them well, you make them feel good, you're adding value to the company. Look at our product, above market value. Above market value. He said on Monday, no OnPassive product will go out that is not OMV. Value that is adding. If we want to talk about, want to compare with the other products that are in the market, there's no match. There's no match. Not to take much time, just want to say, thank everybody that is here. OWinners, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is our house. Everybody come every Wednesday. We'll talk and we'll listen to each and everybody. Thank you. Antilene, let me give it back to you.
Thank you very much, Oliver, for those words. We now go to Bridget Incomsey. She is an OWinner, has been an OWinner for quite some time, very loyal and consistent, very bright young woman, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from Bridget. Go ahead, Bridget. You can unmute yourself.
Wow, what an amazing evening, everybody.
Very.
Thank you, all the leaders in house, Maddie, Jeffrey, Tony, oh my goodness, I hope I can call everybody. Thank you for the original pioneers who paved the way for us. Thank you so much. The reason we're here today is because of your hard work. So as for me, I joined OnPassive April of 2020. I think I was we were about 68,000 when I joined. Yeah. So at that point we were shooting for 100,000. So when we got to 100,000, we thought that was it, but I guess not. So here we are today. So my story is, I was at the point where I was trying to change my career, and I thought IT was the way to go. So a friend of mine sent me a text telling me that there is a company, which is an IT company that's about to launch. She wanted me to look at it. And I go, well, if it's IT, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, so I signed up without even knowing why I was signing up. And lo and behold, that same week, we had a webinar with Ash. So that's the first time I heard from Ash. So listening to Ash, like everybody says, he has a special way of talking. And when you read between the lines, you can tell he's a very special person. What I gathered from that webinar was that he had a vision which resonates with me. So, and a week later, we had another meeting with Charles Osong, who kind of break down the company for us. And when I realized that I don't have to recruit, I don't have to sell anything. And I mean, I figured that you're bound to succeed. So that's why, you know, I just took it and run with it. From that day on, I have not turned around. So I have just been on passive all the way. So here we are. We're no longer taking founders. So everybody needs to roll up their sleeves and work and share the vision, because OnPassive is a company with heart. To me, what really attracts me in OnPassive is the fact that we're going to change the world. The company is a company that will correct the corruption in the world. So that's where I am. Thank you for the opportunity, Angeline.
I always enjoy our conversations, Bridget, because you uplift me when we have conversations about what's going on passive, and we love to think about what's coming next. What do you think? And we share our opinions. That always excites me and energizes me. So I thank you for that. You're an inspiration to me all the way, Bridget.
Thank you, Angeline.
You're welcome. All right, now we go on to one of the leaders of this company, of this group, and he's going to be speaking with you. And he is a true leader, in my opinion. He is one that has a lot of charisma when he speaks. And when he speaks, you know, people listen because he knows how to explain concepts and to make them very clear and concise for us. He has done so much for OWinners. And today you get to hear from him. So come on down, Bob Takusi.
All right, Angeline. Am I on mute? Yeah, I'm muted. Okay. Hello, OnPassive. Greetings from Bel Air, Maryland. It's very, very, very good to be here. It's a distinct pleasure for me to be here this evening. I want to thank all the speakers, those who have spoken before me. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeffrey Mallock. You know, and I'm sure you really know that you are a great inspiration to most of us. I mean, there are almost 1.5 million founders in this company. And I've told you that personally. You know, when I got into this company, it was your book. After understanding what OnPassive was all about, it was the ebook that actually break it down for me, and I could easily catch up and then begin my own contribution of explaining OnPassive to the entire company. Thank you, Brother Marty Degamo. Marty Degamo, you know you are our brother, our big brother, and I know you know that. You've held our hand and you've told us that you're going to do what you can, you know, to help us also help all the founders of this company. Thank you, Dr. Bill William. You know, very cool, calm, and collected always. I love your style, the way you speak. you know, you're poised and polished all the time. Thank you for gracing the invitation to come talk to us and bringing that analogy together, make it very clear for us to see exactly what OnPassive is all about and where it's going to. My brother Tony, the Canadian billionaire, I want to advise everybody to keep your eye on the chat. Keep your eye on the chat. You will learn a lot from Tony Monk. He's very active on the chat and he's making a lot of sense there. So as you sit through the webinar, also from time to time, just read through the chat. He's very, very, you know, educative there. So please keep your eye there. Thank you, my sister Bridget, sister Gladys Nyabro. Of course, my brother Oliver, my partner Oliver, we've been in the journey together. Actually, you are one of the people who actually really inspired me, pushed me along together. I'm a public fellow, but very, very, very private. So my Oliver is the one who actually pushed me and forced me to get out of my shell. So it's good to be here at this platform and also being part of history. We are actually at the verge of creating history, and it's an honor and a distinct privilege for us to be part of it. So tonight we are talking about value and the mindset that we bring to OnPassive, that we have. Let me quote our founder, Mr. Ash Mafara, what he said yesterday in the beginning of that webinar on Monday, sorry. Is there anyone here who is ready to take a boatload of money, a bag of money, name your price, and walk away right now and never think of OnPassive again? There was no hand up. Nobody. No one dared put your hand up to request whatever. Couldn't someone say, hey, I want 5 billion, 10 billion? No, nobody did. You know why? Because of the value of OnPassive, the value of OnPassive has been compounded and compounded. And when Brother Tony Monk, he just told us here that in 2018 or 2019, thereof around that time, Mr. Ash asked them if they wanted him to stop. They said, no, move on. You know why they did tell him to move on? Because he was adding value. He was compounding the value. He was compounding and compounding. It is value that is going to carry us OnPassive up to the top. Value. It is our secret weapon. The value of OnPassive in all dimensions. I know, Brother Abdul, I forgot to acknowledge you. Thank you to my brother. I'm sorry I missed you. I know Brother Abdul gave us a good definition of value, so we need not go in there, but it is value that is going to bring us to the very top and make each and every one of us rich, because that is who our founder is. He puts value before anything. Brother Mati Degamo told us, you know, we speak with him a lot, almost 4 times a week. He told us a story that I did not forget. When he first spoke with Mr. Ash Mafara, Mr. Ash did not sell him OnPassive. He was telling him the value. It was value. The only thing that Ash talked to Mari about was the value, what he's bringing forth, what people are going to get. And that is what is going to take us all the way to the top. And he himself said that. Mr. Ash himself has said that the core spirit of OnPassive is the value, is her value. That is what he's going to bring, the value. And it is permitted all over our company. Everywhere you turn around OnPassive, it's value. And when I also listened to OnPassive for the first time, it is that value that caught me, my interest. I could tell immediately that OnPassive is unique. There's nothing like OnPassive out there. We know we live in a time where everybody is trying to be innovative. People are trying to create all kinds of stuff. There are apps, all kinds of stuff out there. You know, when you want to come to the limelight at this magnitude like us, like OnPassive, you have to come with something unique, something that has value. OnPassive is unique. There's nothing like OnPassive out there. A one-stop shop, a digital mall that has everything that you have. Integrated. You know, you're gliding from one application to another. Single sign-on. You don't need to move, go out and come back in or anything of that sort. No, you come in, get your ecosystem. You are gliding in from one application to another. You log in at once. You're authenticated at once. And that's it. The value that OnPassive has. The value. If you want to quantify OnPassive value in terms of dollars, we are more than $5 billion right now. The value of OnPassive. You know, look at the products, how it is built. My brother Oliver has already said all this. The latest technology is artificial intelligence, the value that we bring in. It is at the underlying layer of our infrastructure, artificial intelligence, each layer, you know, they are all integrated and automated. But there is also something, there's a sublime value inside the on-passive infrastructure, inside that underlying layer, the love, compassion, and hope of Ash Mafara. You know, like Oliver said, each and every one of us came here. When we all came, we were coming here to make money. All 1.455793 founders, including Batina Lakshmi of India, who was the last founder to join OnPassive. All of us, our mindset have changed because we've seen the value of OnPassive and we've also understood the value of the founder. Now, most of us are only talking about what we're going to do, how we're going to help the world, how we're going to uplift humanity, uplift mankind. That's the value of OnPassive. Our products are superior, built well from scratch, and are secure. We don't have any problem. I need not even talk about our products. Look at the value our founder brings to the employees. They are well paid because he has value for them. They are well paid. As a matter of fact, Mr. Ash Mafara said something very, very, very beautiful the other day. He looked at one of our employees. He realized that this employee deserves more. He doubled that employee's salary instantly. That has never been done anywhere. We don't know of any CEO that does that. And when you do that, guess what? You retain your employees. They fall in love with you. They love you. And you open up their imagination, their minds. And that's exactly what happened. What did he say? The next day, this guy comes back and is able to bring in a suggestion of something revolutionary because of the value that our founder puts into him. He gives them cars every month, laptops, iPads, mopeds. All that is because he has value for them. He looks at them as his own brothers and sisters, like Oliver said. He has created a training department, machine learning, artificial intelligence, innovation lab, digital and physical labs. We do have those. That is to bring more value to OnPassive products and to project us for the future. We have a team of professionals brainstorming ideas. They're just sitting in a room. And remind you, most of OnPassive people working for all those employees working in Hyderabad, they are mostly masters and PhD holders. They are very highly educated and skilled people. They are not cheap. So you get a few of them, put them inside the room. They are there to brainstorm futuristic technology to add value, constantly compounding our value. That is what OnPassive is. It's a value-oriented company and customer-oriented company. We want to bring the most value to the customer at the least price. That is what OnPassive is all about, guys. We have offices all around the world. Value upon value. We have Hyderabad, we have Singapore, we have Dubai, Dubai 1, Dubai 2, and there's Dubai 3 hopefully coming in Dubai Internet City. Value upon value compounded. You know, the world is in a recession right now. We are. Our prices are going to be better. Our products are better. The value of our products will manifest itself to the world. CEOs are going to refer other CEOs, as Oliver says. That's a factual statement. Because every CEO's dream is to cut down costs. When they look at OnPassive products, they use these products, the products are better, they are cheaper, they cut down costs, optimize their performance. You know, OnPassive one is that product that is going to come in and revolutionize your entire digital marketing system. Their strategy, digital marketing, to transform your business at a less price than what you're paying before. Who would not use that product? If every single one of OnPassive product, the value is 10 times better than what we have in the market right now. We say this authoritatively. We use some of these products as we speak every day. Every day at work, I call Oliver and I speak to him. When we use Cisco WebEx. I use Cisco WebEx and Microsoft Teams actually, but mostly Cisco WebEx. There's no comparison, none. You know, so the value of OnPassive products is what is going to take us to the top. You know, and then we talk about the mindset, our mindset. You realize that on Monday, Mr. Ash Mafara came in, he talked a little bit about the value of unpassive, and then he talked about our mindset, the attitude. Your attitude. What is your attitude? Generally, we should have that mindset of greatness. In fact, there are three key attributes that we can put in our mindset. We have that of abundance, we have the positive mindset, and growth. And if you look at those three attributes very keenly, that is our founder, Mr. Ash Mafara. He is a man with a mindset of abundance. I saw that first. As those of us who had the privilege to meet with Mr. Ash Mafara on March 30th in Boston, you could tell. Just a simple example. We were eating dinner, both nights. He would order, you know how you order something for, you know, finger food, just some snack, something to start off. He would send them back to go and bring like in a big bowl. He brought it, it was too small. He said, go back twice. He did that twice. That is what this man has attracted in his soul, his abundance. The reason why he's doing so is because he wants to distribute it. So I think Mr. Ash Mafara is giving us a message. When you listen to him, you go back and listen to him again from his Monday speech. He's preparing us, giving something is coming. He's preparing us gradually. We should have that abundant mindset. Then we should also have the positive mindset. Ash Mafara epitomizes a positive mindset. He does not believe in failure. He is do it or die. That's his mindset. Do it or die. Constant positive mindset. And growth mindset. He sat across from us and he was telling us about replication. It seems like he was talking to myself and Oliver. Because we were sitting across from him. He was looking at me straight in my eyes and he was telling us to replicate ourselves. Replicate ourselves by empowering other people. That is growth. So in a nutshell, my dear friends, he ended by saying, trust and loyalty is important. So those of us, those founders, those of us who are founders, we should not stay quiet. Come forward, make yourself known. Like Brother Madi said, there's enough for everybody. Unpassive is big enough to accommodate all of us, all 1.5 million of us. Make yourself known, show yourself. But remember, the CEO values trust and loyalty. Thank you very much. I'll send it back to you, Angeline.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great word. I do think, yes, I agree as far as those three factors of abundance, positive mindset, and growth. That is definitely what Ash Mafara represents.
Yep.
And I think he has instilled in us that he would like us to take on those same perspectives that he has. I think they're very healthy and positive. And I, for one, believe in those three features that he talked about. Definitely, it's healthy. All right. So now I think we've had our speakers present today, and we're going to be wrapping up. Let me take it to the gallery so we can acknowledge everybody here. Hello, everybody. Wave. Are you all awake? Did you enjoy the webinar? Thumbs up. I hope you guys got something out of it, you know, and that you'll be coming back for more. We have this webinar every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We post it in the back office and on social media. And we always intend to have content that is valuable to you so that you go away a little bit better for the knowledge that you have gained. So we are very conscious of that. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the people who have made this webinar successful. And after I do that, we're going to end with a traditional prayer. Now let's talk about that prayer. You know, the leaders of this group have discussed that, you know, prayer can be a sensitive topic. However, it is the tradition of this group. OWinners has been going on for 2 years now. Is that correct, Bob Takusi? 2 years. So we had a discussion about the fact that we want to keep this tradition. And what we tell you is this: if you're wanting to not be present during the prayer, will give you a hint that the prayer is coming up, and you are most free to leave the webinar, but we will continue this tradition of prayer. Thank you for understanding and respecting our preference on this. So at this time, I would like to do my thank you. And also we're gonna have that prayer by Father Bless. He is standing by to give our prayer. And then we're gonna have an extended period of time to allow our attendees to say bye-bye to one another. And we do this with intention. It is because we acknowledge that the attendees of our webinar are very, very valuable and precious to us. So we want to allow you time to wave and say bye-bye to one another. So don't go away, wait for that period when we get to say bye-bye. So I wanna thank, first of all, Marcienne Hemabu. She is our co-host along with Sylvie Wanji. Sylvie Wanji and Marcienne do a great job because they have to greet people as they come in, and maybe they don't know how to pronounce the names properly, but they try their darn best. And they show a lot of aloha, which means love, a lot of love in their heart when they greet people. Thank you very much. Thank you specifically to Marcienne. Marcienne has been promoting OWinners from week to week. She goes into the various social media groups and she posts like crazy. So we appreciate Marcienne for that commitment to promoting. It is a task. And you know, if there are people in this webinar who would like to take on that task, just message me because I would be really grateful. Promotion is everything, people. And the more people we have promoting, the better, right? We want to thank John Barilla. John Barilla, give us a wave. John Barilla has been faithfully monitoring our chat. You can go ahead and say something, say a few words, John. He monitors our webinar chat and YouTube chat. We appreciate you. Your volume, you gotta turn your volume up because you're unmuted. Okay,
Okay.
All right, say a
I
few
think it's my
words.
earphones.
You got two devices, I think. You got a lot of echoing.
Now? Better now?
A lot of echoing. You got two devices, I think.
Oh yeah, that was my chat device is still on. That's what it is.
Okay. Just say a few words. We
Well,
want
let
to
me
just
just say
appreciate
good
and
night.
acknowledge
It was a
you.
great chat. I'll just say that.
People were well behaved tonight. Lucky for you, John. Less work for you. Thank you. Appreciate ya. All right. I also want to thank Myra Aquino. Wave to us, Myra. Where are you, Myra? Are you on this main screen? Well, we want to thank Myra because she's the one that's producing our graphics. Oh, there you go, Myra. Say hi. You're precious to us. Don't you like our Zoom background?
Glad to be here with all of you, all winners.
Yeah, thank you so much for making our pretty graphics. I enjoy using the Zoom background so much. And she also says the promotional graphics for us. Thank you, because you got to deal with me. You got to be patient with my feedback. So I appreciate you to no end. Okay, I also want to thank Marty DeGarmo. Marty, are you there, Marty? Say hi. Marty,
Hello.
Marty?
Yep. Great webinar, guys. It's fantastic. I had a great time. You all did super fantastic. Great input from everybody. It was very a really good show. It was a lot of good time.
Thank you so much, Marty. Thank you. Marty always opens up this webinar. He live streams and records for us, and he gives us great input like he did tonight. He was on fire. Wasn't he on fire? Clap your hands if you thought Marty was on fire tonight. We appreciate that, man. You're excited, all of us, Marty. It's awesome. Thank you to Chris Johnson. He's not here tonight, but he did help us post in the back office. When I gotta find somebody to post, who do I go to? Chris Johnson, because he usually responds pretty quickly. Thank you to Chris. We love you. Thank you to our hosts, Bob and Oliver, for they're the ones that came up with the idea of making this webinar public, making it available to the masses. And that was a huge commitment on Bob Takusi and Oliver Fonte's part. We know the commitment that you have to make this webinar go on every week and provide good content. Thank you, Bob and Oliver. Did you want to say something, Bob or Oliver? You're good? You can unmute. You're good?
No, we're good. We're good. Thank you, everybody.
But I want to acknowledge you for that critical decision to make this webinar available to a lot of people, including the public. It's wonderful stuff. Thank you. Thank you to Skeeper, who provided live music. Did you guys enjoy his music before we began to live stream? Those of you who came on time before we start live streaming, enjoyed live music. He has the spirit of Unpassive within him. Can you hear his heart for Unpassive? I do. It's really special. So we look forward to hearing from him on a regular basis. As time permits, he will be part of our webinar.
Thank you.
And we want to thank, oh, there you are. Oh, good. I'm glad you're there. You gonna come next week, you think?
Well, when I can, I will.
Yeah. He's a busy man. So when he can, he will be here to brighten up the webinar and put us on fire. Thank you so much, Jerry Camphor. His professional name is Keeper. And you can catch him on his YouTube channel. Jerry, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just Skeeper, Skeeper.
So please go ahead and look up Skeeper, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when he puts up new music, and like his stuff. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Ash Mafara. Okay, I know sometimes I forget to mention the man at the helm of this company. If it were not for Ash Mafara, we wouldn't have Unpassive today, and we wouldn't all be in such a great place, right? So let's say thank you to Mr. Mafara. We will never forget him. A great visionary and humanitarian. And finally, I want to thank the attendees of this webinar. Each and every one of you here. We had 315 people attend. That's darn good for a webinar that started 3 weeks ago. Would you say that we have a good turnout? And if you would spread the word, if you enjoyed this webinar, tell your teams, tell your friends and family. It is public. So share that link everywhere, and let's get more people coming to learn about Unpassive and to get fired up like we all are fired up. So thank you so much. Let me see if I got everybody.
Hey, Lynn, can I add one thing?
Please do.
Okay, I want to thank Lynn Nakamoto, because obviously she's not going to mention her, but nobody works harder or for more people than anyone like Lynn Nakamoto. Absolutely. I don't know how she does it. She drives me insane, and I'm just one guy, but she does everything for everyone. She's everywhere. Unbelievable. And she needs to be recognized as a force to be reckoned with, and a big impact on Unpassive, no doubt about it. One of the biggest. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you so much for that acknowledgement. I appreciate it. I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I know that I'm supposed to be doing this, and it's just a joy. It's never a chore. It's a joy to be doing what I'm doing. Because why? We're uplifting humanity, people. Every one of us has this huge impact that we're going to make on the world, make this world a better place. There's no place better than to be in Unpassive. Is that right? Clap your hands if you agree. I see everybody clapping. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it to the gallery. I can see all of you present there, and we're going to say, unmute yourselves and say bye-bye. Take your time. I'm going to keep it going for a while.
Wait, the prayer.
The prayer.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, duh, I forgot. Okay, I'm getting too excited. Okay, so here now we're going to go on to prayer. Now, remember what I said. If you don't want to be present for the prayer, that is fine, because we respect your wishes. So if you need to leave now, you can go ahead and leave. Where's Father Bless? There he is. Okay, Father Bless, go ahead. Please do the prayer.
Okay, thank you. Hello, all Unpassive here. As my brother Oliver said, we are fine. Thank you all. I make a decision this tonight is to go and watch the movie, The Wizard of Oz. I never heard about it. Today was the first time. And if you are like me, do the same to understand what was going on tonight. Also, I would like us to remember, if you have time, go and read the short poem of Mother Teresa. Do it anyway. And maybe we'll have a better understanding of what Mr. Ash said, do it or die. So thank you all. Let us pray now. Lord, give our bodies restful sleep, and let the work we have done today be sown for an eternal harvest. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father Bless. We appreciate you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So now we take it to the gallery. Hello, everybody. Ready? I'm going to unmute everyone, and then you guys can say bye to each other. Take your time. Here we go. See you next week.
Good night, all. Good night. Good night. Bye.
Thanks, Lynn.
Everyone.
Tony.
See you.
Trust.
Thank you, Marty.
Good night.
Yes.
Love you.
Hey.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Thank you, John Barilla.
And
Bye, John Barilla. John Barilla. Bye.
Good night.
adios.
Hi, everyone.
Good
Sure.
night.
Good
Night.
Dr. Bill.
Hey,
Gladys.
Good night. Good to
Look at
see you.
everybody singing.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie.
Bye.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Good
Bye,
night, Diane.
Gael.
Wizard of
Thank you,
Oz.
Uncle
Bye.
Bob.
39.
Night.
Have a blessed night.
Love you
Bye,
all.
Uncle
Goodbye,
Bob.
Fern.
There's no place like home.
Good night,
There's no place like home,
Patty.
Dr. Bill. Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Bill.
Dr. Bill.
See y'all.
Place like home.
Mr. Lamont.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you for coming.
Good night, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Thank you
Thank
to all the
you.
speakers.
Thanks, everybody.
You are awesome.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thank you,
The show's
everybody.
Marty.
Appreciate you
Don
all.
Armin. Ho.
Bonne nuit, Bruce.
Sister Masian, good night. Thank you.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Good night, Ahmad.
Good night, my dear.
Hello, Madeline.
Good to you all.
Merry Christmas.
Arrivederci.
Flynn. Got it right.
Thank you,
Hi,
Amma. Amma, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you very much, Miriam.
Thank you, Amma.
You're wanted, needed, and loved.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. Thank you, Amma. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all from May God's richest blessings be upon you, because you're deserving of nothing less. God bless you.
All on passive.
Bye. Good night. Thank you, everybody.
We're gonna go watch The Wizard of Oz.
Hello, I'm Kelly.
Okay, good. I was waiting for you to sing.
Kelly, thank you for being here. Thank you, Bridget.
Farewell.
Come,
Sing it, brother.
Thank you,
Get one
It
school.
rains, it
Hey,
rains.
Bruce.
Apples
Hey,
from unpassive.
Get one
Bruce.
You know he's cloud contained.
Picture my love from Ontario.
Good night.
See
Bye
a
bye.
fortune falling
Good night,
over
Kelly. Thank
town.
you.
Make sure that your umbrella is upside down.
Thank you, Auntie Lee.
Make sure your umbrella is upside
Package
down.
of sunshine and flowers. If you want the ones you
Auntie Lee, you are
love, you must
unique.
have showers.
Thank you, John.
If you hear
Especially
it thundering, don't run under a tree.
Good night, Johnny.
You're a good
We'll
singer,
have
John.
apples from heaven and on passive for you and me.
There you go, John. Lots of love here.
Enjoy.
It was amazing.
Hey, my dad used to say, Armin, sing. You can sing tenor, can't you? I said, yeah, tenor 15 miles away.
Canada is in the house. Oh, Brother Machi.
oh yes.
Hey, Brother Marty.
Here's my
Good
voice.
night, Marty.
Hello. Hello, Marty. Good night.
Oh gosh, I forgot to do
Good
that.
Good night.
to see you, Jeffrey. What a brain you are. You're a smart man.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We
Bye-bye.
love
Thank
you,
you, Jeffrey,
brother.
for coming.
Bye, bye, bye,
Bye,
bye, bye, bye.
Thank you for
William
coming,
DeLore.
everyone.
What is the takeaway? The takeaway
Value.
there's
no place better than home.
Trust to yourself.
There's no place like home.
Better than home.
There's no place like home.
No place like passive.
When you visualize,
Like Compassive.
determine
Yeah.
Vestra.
And there's no place like
very
Compassive.
important.
No place like Untitled.
Hey, appreciate you, Marty. You're the best.
Is home.
I'm telling you.
Good night, Mistra.
Only thing is, you don't know how to pronounce my name.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, ladies, the winners.
Love y'all.
Bye. Thank you, Siri.
You can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner.
Great achievement. Begin with comments and don't forget.
Good night, Mamoju.
Let's support our CEO for what he's doing for us.
Mama do get well soon.
Let's believe.
Yeah.
We have to get well, Mamoju.
Take
Get
care
well
of
soon,
you.
Bridget and Mamadou.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, everyone.
We're all there.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mamadou. Thank you for
It was a
coming.
great
Namaste.
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 Take it home.
And she is here.
Take it away. Loyalty. Hey, Myra.
Myra from the United States of
Yes,
America.
Myra, you are here.
I think you're going to be the first female prime minister of the United States.
Trust.
You guys got a prime minister down there yet?
Assistance. Love.
We'll trade you.
Compassion. Let's take compassion.
You can have Trudeau. We'll take it.
I have to say good night to us from Houston, Texas. Love you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
I'm not too funny tonight.
Next time.
Or any night.
Next Wednesday, same time, same link.